Hi, I'm Luke Searveld. Welcome to another episode of Meet the Gaffer. Today we're going to talk about the CL220R, which is a COLBOR unit, a company I have not heard much about, but I did see an episode by Andrew Locke, Gaffer and Gear, where he was playing with the 220 and I believe the 320, which were both bicolor units. Now this is the 220R, and the R stands for RGB. So full color unit, it's got 3 modes. You've got CCT, warm to cool, 2700 Kelvin to 6500 Kelvin. And then you can flip a mode over to HSI, so full color. And then there's effects. It's a small cob unit, so you've seen a lot of these. A lot of different companies come out with a very similar configuration. And normally I wouldn't review a unit like this because it does not have DMX and it does not have CRMX. It does have local control, and the buttons are on the head, very easy to get to. If you put it up in the air, then you'll want to deal with it on an app, and that works easily enough. It did take me a minute to pair it with the app, so I'll put a link to that video that helps you sort of walk through it. Just a simple thing is that on the side here, you get this, it's kind of like a little rail that fits into a slot, and it has 1/4 and 3/8 threaded holes in it. I took a little small rig V-mount receiver and attached that, and so you can put a regular V-mount battery on it. Take out the AC and put in your plug. Control this, there we are. But if you're on battery, you can only go up to 50% on the output. So why review a unit that I wouldn't normally use because of the lack of DMX or CRMX? Good question. I was intrigued because it's 220 watts and it sort of fits in a little niche that I don't really have slotted right now. I have the Nanlite Forza 60C, and then that kind of jumps to an Orion 300 FS. In between there is the Fiilex Q5, but I was intrigued because, hey, this is a smaller unit than the 300 FS. You can put a battery on it. Sure, you don't get the full output. I just wanted to see if there's a place for this type of wattage in my arsenal. And just to compare, the Amaran units have been out for a while, the full color. Even the lower end LEDs now are quite good. Here are the basic CCT output numbers.
People often ask, hey, how can I do what you do, but with less expensive lights? Well, here's an option.
This is for the owner-op. This is where you want a color unit with a little bit of pop, but you don't have to have all the bells and whistles. Comes in a solid bag, and even got some straps on top for a stand. You get a regular intensifier, snaps right in. Oh, interesting. On the app, you go to 100, but here it goes to 50. Makes sense. One thing I do have to say is that the fan at full is quite loud. So in smart mode, I turned it on for a few hours, and it didn't bump up to the full mode. It stayed, it got, warmish, but it stayed in smart mode, which was, how it is now, and that's totally acceptable. So just know where you are vis-a-vis fan mode. Now let's do a basic comparison with all 4 units of output in the CCT range. And we'll just use the regular intensifier that comes with each unit, except for the Fiilex Q5, and for that we'll spot in just a tad so that it's similar to the intensifiers. 100%, there's 100. So that's got all kinds of
there's our
funkiness
100%
on
Let's
its
do a
little
intensifier.
side to side. There's a little bit of that
Two
sort of
has
gray.
not the cleanest.
You know, it's not a
circle,
perfect.
Yeah, it's all about punch. And let's go left and right.
Circle, but nice and wide.
Okay.
So that's 100%. So that's
All
100.
right, bring
Then
this
let's
down.
go 50%.
Go down to 50. There's 100. Go to 50.
There's 50.
50. There's
50.
50. Now we'll go down to 25. 25. 25. 25.
25.
Now we'll go to
5. And 5. Not a lot there.
Back to 100.
Okay.
As you can see,
Still a pretty
take
punchy
it down
unit.
to 3200.
All right, we'll go back to 100. And we'll
Go
change to
3200.
3200.
So there's 100 at 3200. Okay. Down to 3200. Okay. Okay. That's 100%.
That's 100%.
Yeah, we'll take it down to 50.
We'll go to 50.
50. We'll go to 50.
50%. And we'll go to 25.
50. Go to 25. And we'll go to
And we'll go to 5.
25. And 5. Okay.
All right. Now let's check out color on all 4 units. And we're just going to use the color wheel in HSI and go from 0 degrees red all the way around to 360 degrees red. This is at 0.
And we'll go to 15%. Nice saturation there. Okay. And let's go around the wheel. So we'll go around 1, 10, 28, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100, 122, 140, 170, 200, 220, 240, 250, 290, 300, 320, 340, 360, and 0 again.
Real briefly, let's also look at 2 different kinds of modifiers on all 4 units, a Fresnel and a Spotmount, except for the Fiilex U5, which is Fresnel only. On this unit, because I only got an intensifier with it, I'm going to use an older Orion spot mount that came with the 300 FS, and it's a little on the funky side, but what I love about it is it's small. It's very diminutive, and so it will work nicely on a unit of this size. And you'd be surprised how fine-tuned you can get with it, and you can also rotate it. I'll also be using on this a Fresnel that's not optimized for it, but it's also the Orion 300 FS Fresnel that fits on because it's Bowen's. And then for the 60C, I'll just show their regular, spot mount, and I'll have the 36 degree, and then just the regular Fresnel.
Okay, so there's flood. And then we'll spot it in.
Certainly a hot spot there.
It's really nice. All right. And red.
That's 80%.
It's pretty clear that synchronized swimming is not something I would be very good at. I don't really have these 4 units all working together, but it shows you some of their capabilities.
So in conclusion, if you're looking for a small, punchy, full color unit at this price point, knowing the limitations, this is a solid performer.
It still blows me away how good this little Nanlite Forza 60C is. I mean, such a small form factor and still a lot of pop. It's not a perfect light. Those are still coming, hopefully. All these are just precursors.